Maya had worked as a waitress for years. She served at fancy parties, pouring champagne and clearing tables in some of the richest homes in the city. But nothing in all those years prepared her for the moment when she found a picture that stopped her cold. She was carrying a tray through a grand hallway, the walls lined with expensive paintings and bright chandeliers. Her hands shook as she caught sight of a golden frame hanging on the wall. Inside it was a photo of a little girl, a small girl with bright eyes, a shy smile, and wild curly hair. She wore a pink dress, the same one Maya remembered from her own childhood. Her heart raced. That little girl looked just like her. Maya blinked, forcing herself to keep moving, but her mind was spinning. How did that photo end up here, in this huge mansion owned by the powerful man hosting the party? A man she had served drinks to just moments ago. She had grown up in foster homes, never knowing her real family. Social workers had given her bits of information, but much of her past was a mystery, wrapped in silence and missing papers. She had accepted that she might never know where she came from, or why she was left behind. But now, seeing that photo, something inside her stirred. She had to find out the truth. Before she could think more, a security guard's sharp voice snapped her back to reality. "Hey! What are you doing here? The private wings are off limits for employees." Maya's breath caught. She smiled a little too quickly. "I'm sorry. I was just looking for the bathroom and got lost," she lied. Her heart pounded as she slowly backed away. She memorized every detail of the photo, the way the little girl's eyes sparkled, the curve of her smile, the ribbon in her hair. It was like looking at a piece of herself she thought was lost forever. As she walked back toward the main hall, Maya's eyes searched the crowd of guests, hoping to find the man who owned this house. There he was, a tall man in a perfect black tuxedo, talking to other wealthy people, smiling and nodding. His voice was calm but commanding, as he spoke about the charity foundation he ran for children who had nowhere else to go. It was a strange scene. The man who had left a little girl behind, she thought bitterly, was now talking about giving hope to other kids. Maya felt a cold twist in her chest. How could someone speak so kindly about children while hiding such a terrible secret? She watched him carefully, noticing the small things. The way his smile sometimes faltered, the way his eyes seemed distant when he mentioned second chances. There was guilt there. She could feel it. He told the crowd about the pain of losing a daughter, about how losing her changed his life forever. But Maya knew the truth was darker. She hadn't died. She had been forgotten. While the guests clapped and praised him for his generosity, Maya's mind was racing. She would find out everything, the lies, the secrets, the pain he hid behind his polished words. And when she did, she would make him answer for every tear she had cried, every night she spent wondering why she wasn't loved, every moment she had been invisible. But right now, no one noticed the small smile on Maya's lips. It wasn't a smile of a lost daughter hoping to be found. It was the smile of someone who had just discovered the weakest point of her enemy. For 3 days, Maya couldn't stop thinking about that photo. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw the innocent little girl staring back at her from the golden frame, the same girl she once was, the girl the world had tried to erase. She needed answers, but where could she start? The man, Nathan Carlton, was powerful, a billionaire CEO with a perfect public image. He sat on boards of universities and charities. He was untouchable. Then Maya remembered someone, an old friend from the parties she served at. Marcus, the bartender who worked all the high-profile events in the city. If anyone knew the secrets behind those glitzy faces, it was him. One afternoon, Maya found Marcus cleaning glasses behind the bar. She asked him about Nathan Carlton. Marcus almost choked on his coffee. "Girl, you don't want to get mixed up with that man. He's got people everywhere, powerful people. His past is dark." "Why do you say that?" Maya asked, trying to sound casual. Marcus looked around to make sure no one was listening. "There are rumors, old rumors, about a daughter he had who vanished without a trace." Maya's heart skipped a beat. How old was she? "About 4 years old when his wife died," Marcus said. "Strange accident, they say. After that, the girl just disappeared." Maya felt cold inside. 4 years old, the same age as the girl in the photo. Marcus laughed bitterly. "And you know, Nathan talks a lot about helping orphans and kids in need. It's all for show, nothing more than a cover-up for his conscience." That night, Maya stayed up late, scrolling through her phone. She created fake profiles on social media to dig deeper. She learned Nathan had married 3 times since his first wife died, each time to younger women who signed strict prenups. None of those marriages lasted more than 2 years. More shocking were old news articles about Helen Carlton, Nathan's late wife and Maya's real mother. Helen had been a children's rights activist, fighting hard to reform adoption laws. Her last article mentioned she was investigating corruption at private adoption agencies just 2 weeks before her death. It was too much to be a coincidence. Maya printed everything she found and started piecing it together. Helen had uncovered something dangerous, something that cost her her life. Nathan inherited a massive fortune from his wife's life insurance, but his daughter disappeared. It was like she had been erased from existence. Maya knew she needed help. She remembered Margaret Santos, a retired private detective who often visited the cafe where Maya worked in the mornings. Margaret was sharp and experienced, someone who could dig where others feared to look. One morning, Maya approached Margaret, serving her a strong cappuccino. "Margaret, I need a favor," Maya said, her voice steady but urgent. "I need information on someone important." Margaret studied her quietly. "This isn't small, is it?" Maya shook her head. It's about my past, about a man I think I should call my father." Margaret smiled softly. "It's been a while since I had a real case. Tell me everything." As Maya told her story, Margaret took notes in a worn leather notebook. When Maya finished, Margaret looked up with respect and concern. "You're not just searching for a father," she said. "You're hunting a predator, one who might have killed your mother." Over the next few days, Margaret began digging deep. What she uncovered was worse than either of them imagined. Nathan hadn't just abandoned Maya. He had forged papers declaring her dead, fake death certificates, false reports. Margaret showed her the documents. "Here, the official records say your mother and you died in the same accident, but there's no body found, no real proof." Maya felt sick. "He collected life insurance money for both of us." "And he built his entire charity foundation on that lie," Margaret added. Maya stared at the papers, feeling anger and sorrow mixing into determination. Helen had hired a private investigator before she died, someone who suspected Nathan was running an illegal adoption ring. That investigator disappeared soon after Helen's death. Now it all made sense. Nathan had gotten rid of his wife and daughter to protect his fortune and cover his crimes. Margaret handed Maya a blurry photo. "Your mother didn't die immediately. She was alive, conscious, and scared in the hospital. She told a nurse to protect you from the monster, meaning Nathan." Tears burned Maya's eyes. Her mother died knowing Maya was in danger, but no one had saved her. Nathan thought Maya was dead and buried, but Maya was alive, and she was coming back. Margaret slid a thick folder across the table. "Everything you need is here, but be careful. This man is dangerous." Maya looked up, calm and strong. "If he killed my mother, he won't hesitate to hurt me." Margaret nodded. "I'll help you, but this is bigger than we thought." As Nathan Carlton continued living his perfect life, Maya quietly prepared. She planned the moment when she would confront him. and she was ready to bring his empire crashing down. The day of Nathan Carlton's big charity gala arrived. It was the event everyone in the city talked about, the night when the rich and powerful gathered to celebrate Nathan's generosity toward orphaned children. Cameras flashed, and guests in elegant gowns and tuxedos laughed and congratulated each other. The room sparkled with wealth. Maya stepped into the grand hall, dressed simply as one of the waitstaff. She carried a tray full of champagne glasses, her smile hiding 20 years of pain and anger. No one knew who she really was. Nathan was on stage, giving his speech. His voice was steady, full of rehearsed emotion. "Losing a daughter is the hardest thing a man can face," he said. "It changes you forever." The crowd clapped. Many wiped tears from their eyes. Nathan's words sounded honest, even moving. Maya's eyes were fixed on him. She walked slowly through the room, serving drinks, listening carefully to every word. When Nathan finished speaking, an assistant brought him a microphone. That's when Maya stepped forward and took it from the assistant. "Excuse me, Mr. Carlton," she said, her voice calm but firm. "May I ask you a question?" The room fell silent. All eyes turned to her. Nathan looked annoyed. "This is a private event. You should be serving drinks, not interrupting." Maya smiled faintly. "But your speech touched me deeply, especially when you said you lost a daughter. Can you tell us more about that?" Nathan's face tightened. "That's personal. I'd rather not discuss it." Maya turned on the microphone so everyone could hear. "I have some very interesting details about your lost daughter." The audience gasped. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. Nathan's eyes narrowed as he stared at Maya. For the first time, he really saw her. "I'm that daughter," Maya said clearly. "Maya Elizabeth Carlton, the one you declared dead." The room was stunned into silence. Nathan's face went pale. You can't be." "Yes, I can," Maya said, her voice steady. "You abandoned me. You killed my mother to get her fortune, and then you tried to erase me from the world." Maya pulled out a thick envelope and held it up. "Here are the fake death certificates, the life insurance papers, the autopsy report proving my mother was poisoned, not in an accident." The audience stared in disbelief as she spoke. Nathan tried to grab the microphone. "This is slander! Lies!" But Maya stepped away, holding her ground. "Ladies and gentlemen, I think it's time you learned the real Nathan Carlton," she said. She pressed a button, and a photo appeared on the big screen behind the stage. The same childhood picture Maya had found in Nathan's private office, the one he called a secret treasure. The inscription was clear. "To the most amazing dad in the world, I love you, Maya." Whispers spread through the crowd. Maya looked at Nathan and spoke softly but with power. 20 years I thought I was worthless, that I was dead. Meanwhile, you built a fortune on lies. You used our tragedy to make money and fame." She turned to the audience. "And you, the donors, the supporters, did you ever wonder where your money really went? Only 12% of the donations reached the children. The rest went straight into Nathan's pockets." At that moment, Margaret, the retired detective, appeared on stage. She held a small recorder, and everyone saw her pressing play. A voice filled the room, Nathan's voice confessing to his lawyer about getting rid of his wife and daughter. The crowd erupted into shocked gasps. Cameras flashed wildly. Nathan stood frozen, watching his carefully crafted image crumble in seconds. "You planned all of this," he whispered, eyes locked on Maya. "Of course," she said with a cold smile. "You taught me that revenge is best served cold." The audience began to rise, some shouting, others leaving in disgust. Nathan was left alone on stage, the man whose lies had been exposed by the daughter he tried to bury. Maya stepped down, her mission complete. Outside, sirens wailed. The police arrived to arrest Nathan on charges of murder, insurance fraud, and money laundering. For the first time in decades, Maya felt a deep calm inside. She had faced the man who tried to erase her and won. 6 months later, Maya sat in the bright office that once belonged to Nathan Carlton. The plaque on the door had been changed. Now it read, Elizabeth Foundation, Executive Director, Maya Elizabeth. The foundation was no longer a front for lies. The money taken from Nathan had been frozen by the authorities. Now it was being used for its true purpose, helping orphaned children find homes and hope. Maya smiled as she signed a check to build the 5th new orphanage. This time, the donations would reach the kids who truly needed them. Her life had transformed completely. The waitress who had poured drinks for the rich was now the face of a nationwide movement. Magazines featured her story. She was invited to speak on TV and at conferences. People called her a hero. Marcus, the bartender who had warned her about Nathan, was now the foundation's event coordinator. He laughed one day, saying, "You've become more famous than he ever was. He spent decades building a reputation, and you destroyed it in 20 minutes." Nathan's downfall was complete. Lawsuits piled up. Former associates tried to get back the millions they lost in the fake charity. His ex-wives broke silence, publishing books that revealed his dark secrets. Even the golf club where he played removed his name from their tournament. Universities took down his plaques. The churches he once attended asked him never to return. But for Maya, the greatest victory wasn't in headlines or money. It was in the letters she received every month, letters from children and families touched by the foundation's work. One letter was from Amanda, a 16-year-old girl who won a scholarship to study medicine. "Thank you for showing me my past doesn't define my future," she wrote. Another was from a boy who wanted to become a lawyer to defend children like Maya had defended her mother. A mother wrote that, thanks to the foundation, her family was reunited after 8 long years. Maya watched interviews on TV. When asked if she still felt anger toward her father, she paused. "Anger is a luxury I can't afford," she said softly. "He taught me that our origins don't decide our destiny." Nathan had tried to erase her, but instead he gave her a blank page, a chance to write her own story. Maya visited her mother's grave for the first time since taking over the foundation. She placed white roses beside a new headstone inscribed with the words, "Helen Carlton, mother, activist, heroine." She fought for those without a voice. Her daughter carries on her mission. Tears ran down Maya's cheeks as she whispered, "We did it, Mom. Justice has come." Her phone buzzed with news. The foundation had raised more money in 1 week than Nathan had donated in his entire life. Alone in her new apartment with a view of the city she once served, Maya reflected on her journey. From invisible waitress to a powerful voice for thousands of children, she had turned her pain into hope. Her Aunt Sarah, Helen's sister, called every night. They worked together to publish Helen's journals, ensuring her fight for justice would never be forgotten. Even in death, Helen was still saving lives. And Maya? She woke up every day knowing she was living the life her mother dreamed for her. Meanwhile, Nathan counted days behind cold prison bars. Letters he tried to send Maya were always returned unopened. One letter read, "I was young and stupid. If you really are my daughter, please forgive me." Maya never replied. Forgiveness was a luxury for those who didn't kill. Her real success was measured in the smiles of children who found families, in the hope rebuilt where there was once despair. Nathan had built a kingdom of lies. Maya built a legacy of truth. Months passed, and Maya's life blossomed in ways she had never imagined. She was no longer the girl forgotten by the world. She was a symbol of strength, courage, and justice. The foundation she led was transforming lives. bringing light to children who once lived in darkness. Each day, Maya received letters from families who had found each other again. She read stories of hope, healing, and new beginnings. These letters were the true proof of her victory, not the headlines nor the fame. Her work also uncovered more truths. The FBI had used the information Maya and Margaret gathered to shut down dozens of illegal adoption agencies. Dozens of children were reunited with families. The corrupt officials behind those rings faced justice. Maya and her Aunt Sarah poured their hearts into publishing Helen's journals, sharing the story of a woman who fought tirelessly to protect children. Helen's words inspired many, fueling a movement that would continue far beyond Maya's time. Despite all the success, Maya never forgot the pain she endured, the nights she felt invisible, the tears she shed wondering why she wasn't loved. But she had turned that pain into power. One quiet evening, standing in her apartment overlooking the city lights, Maya thought about the journey, how a lost girl had become a beacon of hope. She smiled softly, knowing that the best revenge wasn't hatred or destruction. It was becoming everything her father pretended to be, multiplied 1,000 times over. Nathan Carlton, now serving a 25-year sentence for murder, fraud, and money laundering, was a broken man. His fortune gone, his reputation destroyed, his name forgotten by those who once praised him. Letters he sent Maya were ignored. Forgiveness was not something she could give. But she no longer carried anger. She carried purpose. Maya's legacy wasn't just about exposing lies. It was about building truth, about showing that even the deepest wounds could heal, and from those wounds something beautiful could grow. Her mother's fight had not been in vain. As Maya placed fresh flowers on Helen's grave, she whispered, "We did it, Mom. Your dream lives on." The foundation continued to grow, supporting hundreds of children and families. Maya's story spread, inspiring others to fight for justice and to believe in second chances. From the shadows of abandonment, Maya had risen, not just to survive, but to shine. And in that shining, she became the light for those still lost in the darkness.